Good evening. Does anyone remember all of the cases that the Civil Rights Division had being investigated under the Biden administration? Well, they're gone. How Harmit Dillon's DOJ differs from Kristen Clark's. The shift from Kristen Clark, who led the Civil Rights Division under President Biden, to Harmit Dillon, who now leads it under President Trump, marks a major change in how the federal government approaches civil rights. Kristen Clark's approach. Under Clark, 2021 to 2025, the Civil Rights Division focused on systemic discrimination, patterns that harm Black, Latino, Indigenous, disabled, and other marginalized groups even when no one admitted intent. Her priorities included police reform and investigations in Minneapolis, Louisville, Phoenix, and others. Housing and lending discrimination cases, especially redlining. Environmental justice, including cases in majority Black rural communities. Education and employment discrimination cases. Using disparate impact analysis, a key tool allowing the DOJ to challenge policies that disproportionately harm protected groups, even without proof of intentional racism. Her philosophy: civil rights work requires confronting the systems that create inequality. Harmit Dillon's approach. When Dillon took over in 2025 under President Trump, the DOJ sharply reversed direction. Major changes. 1. Ending police oversight. Dillon's DOJ shut down or withdrew from multiple police investigations and consent decrees, including Minneapolis and Louisville, and dropped probes in several other cities. 2. Eliminating disparate impact. Dillon removed the DOJ's ability to use disparate impact evidence. Plaintiffs must now show intentional discrimination, a much harder standard. This weakens protections in housing, education, policing, and lending. 3. Shrinking the Civil Rights Division. Roughly 70 to 75% of civil rights attorneys left or were reassigned, weakening the division's ability to enforce civil rights laws. 4. Refocusing priorities. Dillon emphasizes individual liberties, free speech, and religious freedom, a narrower definition of civil rights that aligns with conservative priorities. Systemic racism and environmental justice are no longer central focuses. Her philosophy: civil rights should protect individuals, not challenge systems. The transition from Clark to Dillon changes the meaning of federal civil rights protection. Less oversight of policing, even where abuse was documented. Harder to prove discrimination without the disparate impact tool. Weakened enforcement capacity due to staff loss. Narrower, more ideological enforcement that avoids confronting systemic inequality. In short, Clark expanded civil rights protections, Dillon has scaled them back, redefined them, and restricted the tools needed to fight structural discrimination. And let's be honest, a lot of African Americans feel like this ain't just politics, it's déjà vu. It feels like somebody is quietly turning the clock back, inch by inch, taking us closer to those days our grandparents fought their way out of. It feels like the rights we bled for are being peeled away behind closed doors, wrapped in legal language meant to confuse the people most affected by it. This is why young people need to wake up, pay attention, and recognize the pattern. When civil rights enforcement gets weaker, when oversight disappears, when discrimination becomes harder to prove, when power tells you everything is fine, that's exactly how the door to Jim Crow cracked open the first time. Don't let anybody roll you back into history you never agreed to revisit. Stand alert, stay educated, and watch every move these systems make, because freedom ain't guaranteed, it's defended.